our final speaker tonight. She wants to see if she can persuade you to try one of her favorite hobbies. This hobby is organized. This hobby is helpful. And this hobby is worthwhile. What is it? You'll see. Please welcome Sundy DeGooyer.
I love lists. I love reading lists. I love creating lists. And I even self-published a book of my own lists a few years ago. Lists are everywhere. There are bucket lists. There are to-do lists. There are grocery lists. There are best of lists. There are a lot of different reasons that I love lists. I love buying stationery. I love the pens and pencils. You can ask Arlene, I have about 7 different colors next to my place where I take notes. I love notebooks and their potential for list making. Lists are just fun. When I see a list, I go, whoop, whoop. There are a lot of different reasons I love to make lists. And if you haven't had the joy of creating a list, here are a few good reasons why you should try it. Number 1, lists bring order to chaos. David Waliszewski, the co-author of the fabulous Book of Lists, which I have read, says, people are attracted to lists because we live in an era of overstimulation, especially in terms of information. I had this issue just a few weeks ago. My daughter is engaged and to be married in a month. I received list after list after list of addresses to send invitations to. I excitedly opened my computer and began my list making on Excel. It was so much fun and brought so much order to the chaos. And I was able to send out 350 invitations with only one that was repeated. It was exciting, it was fun, and it brought order to the chaos that my daughter managed to throw my way. Number 2, lists help us remember things. Arlen was just talking tonight about creating a list of check mark list for us to set up this beautiful facility to work for our group. And I said, oh, please keep that list because it's a list. You can update it, but don't get rid of the list. It's awesome. I also have loved creating lists with my husband to help me remember things. I'm kind of like my mom. I'm starting to forget things that have happened in the past. And I needed a list because I wanted to write down some of these memories that I had with my husband. Thank goodness he was able to remind me of the time that he fell in the shower, knocking me off the toilet. I also was able to remember the time that he was playing hacky sack with my brother-in-law and broke a fire hydrant, playing hacky sack. I had forgotten all about those moments, some of them on purpose, but I wrote them down in my list so that I can eventually write my little book of ideas and memories. Number 3, lists can be meaningful. Schindler's List is a great example of that. The German businessman Schindler, who used a list to save more than 1,000 Jews from the concentration camps. Have you ever made such a list that was that important? I hope to someday. Number 4, you are in great company if you make lists. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson, Martha Stewart, and Benjamin Franklin all were listers. Benjamin Franklin wrote a very famous book of his list of virtues that I read when I was young. He also created lists of reasons why you should choose older women as mistresses. And a list of synonyms for being drunk. He really did. Isn't that cool? Number 5, lists release stress and focus your mind. Scott Schaefer, a sociologist, said, lists really get to the heart of what it is we need to get through on another day on this planet. I never start my day without a to-do list. It's the joy of my morning. I get up, I get dressed, I go out into the kitchen, grab my Diet Coke, and sit down and make my list. There is nothing more wonderful than crossing off another item on my to-do list. I find so much joy in it. And finally, lists can help us from procrastinating. Making a list can help us break down our really big task and help us to tackle the work a little bit at a time. One of my New Year's resolutions this year is, which by the way was a list, my New Year's resolutions, but one of them is to walk 400 miles with my husband this year. We have created a list of ways we're going to do it, with a 5K walk every single Saturday morning. And we started last January 1st. I really hope that I've convinced all of y'all the importance of creating lists. So tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to make a list. Try it. See if it's not addictive. Thank you.